Dakika 15 baada ya saa 12 Afrika Mashariki. Asante sana kwa kusalia nasi. Tunaingia sasa katika mdahalo mkubwa kuhusiana na masuala ya mchele ama mpunga kwa wale ambao wanazungumza sana, na vile vile tukisha kwenda kule jikoni basi kukuandalia itakuwa ndo tunasema wale.
And to shed more light on rice farming in Kenya and also what the government support needs to look like for every key player in this agri-sector, we are joined by not a new face right here at Kenya's Gold, Mr. Dickson Mugo, a rice expert. Thank you so very much for making time to be with us today.
Thank you.
All right, now just to kick off the conversation, we want to talk about the fact that Kenya and very many other countries rely heavily on the importation of rice. We'll be looking at what these countries are later on in the show. But when we have major exporters like India banning the export of rice, of course it has the effects to developing nations. But most importantly, we want to understand what would lead to a government implementing such policies.
Okay, thank you, Gina. And it is good to know that rice is one of the staple food in Kenya. And right now, we experience shortage in the country. And this is the reason why we are coming up, at least to know what you can do on rice sector. For India restricted their export of rice. This is simply because of domestic consumption in the country. And that is why many countries experience that impact, including South and East Asia for the same. And also in Kenya, we experience the same shortage. Yeah? And that is why you see we don't export broken rice. Okay. But India normally do export to Kenya. Right. And other countries as well.
So when you say domestic consumption is because of increased population in these countries, or what exactly are you trying to explain?
Of course, in India, the population is very high. And that is one of the reasons why they banned the exportation of the rice.
All right.
Yeah. Wakati unazungumza Bwana Mugo ukataja kwamba masuala ya export ya broken rice. Kwa nini Kenya to export broken rice?
Thank you very much, Mr. Terrell. There are various reasons why Kenya does not export rice. Maybe first of all, we have insufficiency in Kenya. That is, we don't have enough food, so we don't have much to do the importation. I mean the export. The export, sorry. So that's the reason why in Kenya we don't have enough. And we don't have for exporting.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is both the varieties such as Pishori, Komboka, and all through to broken rice, right?
Of course, yes.
Now, when we are also talking about, now that we are aware we do not have enough rice already as a country, and even when we were able to import as much rice as we could from other countries, we are now at a point where we don't have that rice to import as much as we had. What are the measures being put in place locally in our country to be able to, compensate for that deficit?
Thank you very much, Gina. The country is working day and night to see that we have sufficient food in the country, including now the rice. Like now, we have some organizations which are working day and night to get more varieties, so that now we can have basmati and other varieties. For example, we have Carlo, which is working day and night to get more things. Like now we have Komboka rice. Komboka rice is in the market, which was introduced by Carlo in conjunction with the Erie. Yeah, and also they are working also to get more things. We also have CF, that is Fanao. Fanao. We also have another variety called Mkombozi.
Right.
And it is doing very well. So with the three varieties, now they will do well. Actually, they will do well. If the government insists, if the government come together and assist the farmers there, the three varieties will help the farmers fully.
Namna unavyozungumza ni kana kwamba usambazaji wa mchele hasa katika taifa la Kenya hatufikii kiwango hitajika. Kile ambacho mtu ambaye yuko Kenya na ni mlaji wa wali tuseme hivyo, kiwango cha kumfikia kikoje?
Right now in Kenya, the way we are saying now, we are growing rice, and because of the challenges we are having right now, that is why we don't have enough in the country. And that is why you see many Kenyans or maybe they like eating rice, but they cannot. That is the main challenge we are having right now. So some people, they like eating, but rice cannot reach where they are because of that insufficiency. Yeah.
So when you were also explaining what we are now doing to help compensate for the deficit that we are experiencing in the country and we could be experiencing for some time now, you've talked mostly on the varieties of rice, the new varieties which are high yielding that could help compensate. But I would also like to find out if we are working towards probably increasing acreage of land under rice. Is that a solution? Maybe better inputs like fertilizers. Are those part of the works, or what we really need right now is the hybrid varieties and the acreage is just fine?
Okay, thank you very much, Gina. Actually, in the country, the way we are staying there, like now we have several schemes around the country, but you'll find that where there are these schemes, there are acres which are not they are not well prepared. Let me say they are not degraded. Let me use that word. Actually, we have acres, but if the government can work on them, they can produce rice. For example, we have some acres whereby water cannot reach there, simply because we don't have feeders.
Right.
There are feeders which are normally prepared now, so that now the water can reach to the far end. So we don't have those feeders. Right. So if the government can do something about those feeders and the roads, so that now we can have an access whereby little water can reach to the many farmers.
Right.
Actually, what the problem is there, we have plantations or we have those lands, but the main challenge is water. That is Gena.
Right.
So if the government can do something about water and how to reach the farmers, everything will be okay. And we'll have, with that now, we'll have enough food.
Right.
Yeah. Secondly, we don't have good subsidized fertilizer right now. Previously, we used to have subsidization of fertilizers, but now we don't have. And the ones which are reaching to the farmer, they are very little or very kidogo sana.
Right.
Actually, ukiangalia venye sasa shamba zimekaa, people are waiting to plant, and they have already planted, but they are waiting for the fertilizer, only to find that it is not there.
Right.
Na yenye inakuja is very little.
Right.
So you see now that is another challenge.
So you're confirming acreage of land is not the issue at this point. We have enough lands that we can grow rice on. We're just struggling with either water or the fertilizers. Great.
Yeah. Namna unavyozungumza vile vile ni kana kwamba unajua kile ambacho serikali kinafaa kufanya. Nataka sana ukwende moja kwa moja bila kusema ufanye kitu fulani. Sema hicho ili serikali naye kama inakufuatilia ijue itafanya nini kufanikisha uzalishaji wa mchele katika taifa la Kenya.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Terrell. Actually, right now we have that problem. And the first problem or the first challenge is now the shortage of water. Actually, in the country, we have dams which have already been built, but actually, because of the feeders and the roads, we have that problem. So, if we can get that, the government, if the government assists us in that, it'll be okay. Number two, there is that problem of land degradation. You see some lands they have used, they are not leveling. Yeah. So if the government also can assist on that, so that now instead of having jua kali, we have acres. Yeah. Mr. Eric, if you go to main field, different fields in different schemes, you will find that there are small acres. We call them jua kali. Jua kali. That is. So iso jua kali sometimes zinafanya mkulima awe na extra jobs. Kama unaenda kufanyia hizo tushamba tudogo kazi, inakuwa stress. But if the government can do something about now those lands, could be better. Another thing, we have those now insufficient infrastructure. You see now, kulima sio kulima tu, na kulima mpunga sio kulima tu. Is a matter of preparing the shamba. Hii mchele kuna mahali unaenda kupanda, Mr. Tere, you will find that hata kumea ina shida. Only because maji inakaa hivi ingine ina hapo. So we need infrastructure to be good. Kama nizo nimekuambia mambo na feeders, ukiangalia 50 acres, ziwe na a feeder, which will now be, the water will be flowing from top to bottom, right, such that 50 farmers hawatakuwa na shida, maji itakuwa inateremka mpaka pale. Right. Na mchele ikienda kupandwa, you will find that an acre which will be which normally produce maybe like jua kali wanavuna mpaka gunia 10, zingine 12. Only now hiyo acre inafaa itoe maybe 30. Right. But because of that flow of water, hiyo itafika pale. Another thing is about the modern agricultural techniques. You see? Like now, we have mechanization already. We have started mechanization. But Mr. Tere, ukiangalia kwa scheme, it is just 50% wenye wamefikiwa na. So if the government can do about mechanization kwa mashamba, itakuwa inasaidia mkulima sana. Na mchele itatoka sana. Only tukipewa hizo nafasi, ama mkulima akipewa that nafasi ya kupata hizo mambo na mechanization. That I mean, Gena, we have tractors there for rotation. We also have harvesters. You know, when planting mchele, it is manual. You'll find that watu wanafanya hiyo manual. And it is so expensive. Unakuta cost of production, ndio unakuta mchele iko juu. Sababu huyo mkulima, huyo labor akienda pale kupanda mchele, anapata almost double kama kuna mechanization. The same case applies to wakati wa harvesting. Wakati mtu ana harvest manually, hiyo nini moja tunaita ivuti. Hiyo ivuti ukienda kupima, my friend, itakuwa mara 2 kwa tractor. Kwa hivyo tractor, it is as if ikienda kukata hiyo mchele, it is just a matter of 1 hour or 2 hours. Umalizi mambo ya kukata na kuenda na mchele. You see? That is it.
Great. Absolutely fantastic insights from Mr. Dickson on what the government needs to do when it comes to supporting the rice agri sector. We do want to take another break right now, but when we come back, we want to talk a lot more on, as much as we are importing about 75% of the total rice consumed in Kenya, why is it that sometimes our local farmers have a challenge of selling their rice, yet we are importing a lot of it? And also we will be showing you some of the countries that are importing the highest number of rice in the country. We'll see you after this break.
Kenya's Gold.